Welcome back, everybody, to Sith Council.
It's like, are we going? What's going on here?
I did this whole thing. I was like, because I have my soundboards on the other side of it, because we shot an episode. We're debuting the Big Thing show, and Ellis came by. We shot this episode. It's really good, by the way. But we shot it, and I had my whole new setup on the other side. But I was like, oh, I had to run back and forth, and I didn't have time to set it up. But anyway, nice to have everybody here. And yeah, you see Steph's name in there today. People saying, "Hey, what's up, Steph?" Steph's internet is out.
Out. Come on, get out.
It's out. Look, here's the other thing. You know what? Can I tell you how much I hate the digital Zoom era?
Are you talking to me or talking to everybody?
Talking to everybody, but I'm talking to you specifically right now.
Okay.
I despise it. I really despise it. I think it was a means
the whole Zoom, everything that's happened in the past year with Zoom.
I mean, the obvious reasons, but this it's just, when people, I just saw such a difference, obviously, from doing the goofball show with Brett, and then yesterday doing the show with Ellis, like being able to actually talk to people back and forth, and I just despise it. And I want to try, because I know you've been fully vaccinated.
Yep.
And so Steph. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to do. Bless, thank you, Andy. I'm glad you're excited about this.
He's excited too.
We're going to do some in-person Sith, I think, once the Bad Batch is over, because we can pre-tape some of those and put them up, and I think that it'll just look and feel better.
Okay.
Sound better.
Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of the plan going forward. And the other thing for people to know, this show, the Inner Geekdom show, all of these shows that we have going on, SEN Live, the Goofball show, the Big Thing show, and on August 2nd, we are moving everything over to a second channel. The link is in the description for this video, as far as, or at least will be, of the channel. It was formerly the Schmodown Extras channel, which will now be a separate channel. At the moment, it is called the SEN Network channel, but we're toying with changing the entire network name. But we want to let people know, and that's why podcast feed's not going to change. It's still going to be the Sith Council podcast feed, but the YouTube channel will change. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. I think if you still type in like Schmodown Extras, they'll still pop up. I'm considering putting this show and the Inner Geekdom show over there first, maybe even earlier than August 2nd, to kind of start it, to let people know. So that's what I would suggest people to go over and subscribe there. And if you aren't subscribed to the podcast feed, that's what's going to keep us going. Super Chats, Streamlabs, it's keeping us alive, and it's doing that thing. But I also want to give the audience the show that they deserve, and that's full uninterrupted shows. So that's what we're going to be doing. But today we're going to be talking about the Bad Batch. And first of all, I know some people are like, wait a minute, Krennic shows up in this one. No, there's news that Krennic is coming back to Andor. It's what you just spoiled. He's coming back to Bad Batch.
Oh, you think people are going to think because of the picture there?
Yeah, I'm sure, because the title. Andor, clickbait. I think no, news that he's coming back to Andor.
Yeah,
when you talk about that, it's so silly. I don't know if anybody's done that. This could be something in my own imagination, Mike. I have no idea. This episode of Bad Batch was phenomenal.
Yeah, this was my favorite one so far.
It was good.
Yeah, I was into this one.
Well, it tied
more
up
so than the others.
Well, I think because it gave us that thing we were looking for, right? It's like, okay, and it's the reason why we said, like, even there's some people, you say it's filler. We said it wasn't filler. It's like it was, but there was, it's still one of those side missions, very similar to other shows we've seen before. However, because of the little things that have been set up obviously with Wrecker, and now the introduction of Rex was great. I like the fact that they're teasing with it. It's just like such a Star Wars thing with the hood. It's like, who's the hood? Great.
I thought for a second, I thought it was Fennec, but I think they showed like just the rim, and I was like, oh, is that her? But no, I had no idea it was Rex. That was a surprise for me.
Yes. Here, you know what? I'm going to help people out too.
Okay.
Because people are confused apparently. So I just changed the name, and I put it in the Andor series so people don't get it. You're very upset. You're very upset. Yeah, sorry, Zeno Hour. Steph's internet went out. She was pissed off.
Steph hates me. That's what it is.
What'd you do?
What?
What'd you do?
No, she just hates me. I don't know.
Oh, that's understandable.
Who doesn't hate me? Come on now.
I'm not gonna. No arguments here.
There you go.
So, but I think that the setup with it and bringing Rex back and the way they brought it back, and there was just there were so many different scenes that were just so like simplistic that I liked. It was just, particularly when Rex he's afraid of heights, and you first see that when he's going through, and he's like, I don't know, you go ahead. Even before that, there's like he like when everybody's like walking, he like crawls because he's scared. Yeah. He's like, I don't need the chip, my head's fine. I thought it was funny, but what I really liked was it was such a throwback to episode 4 when well, first of all, he's too heavy and he falls down the thing, and then that creature comes out.
Yeah,
and it's just so simplistic, which is it's a thing that wants food. It comes out, they shoot it in the face, it goes away. And it's not like, oh, it's it's laser proof, and now they got to do this. And it's like, no, the thing's hungry. Try to like, damn it! I try to get.
It's the like the trash compactor monster. It's just part of Star Wars. Little thing, a little impediment.
That's it. And I thought that all that was great because they had to get to this ship and working together, and there was not like this. Well, how come you didn't do this, Rex? It was like, okay, yeah, I've been out, and there's a lot of throwback. There are a lot of things that you probably went over your head because you've missed a little of the Clone Wars series.
Yeah,
but there were like a lot of references to things that happened in the Clone Wars series, and when he's talking about he had a little help, the reference to Ahsoka and
okay, so this is not going to spoil it for me because I'm that far behind. But where does the Clone Wars see Rex leaving off? Like, where is he at the end of Clone Wars? So,
everything that he just said, with the clip, the chips and all that stuff happening, and then helping Ahsoka at the end escape, and they go off. And she goes off to do her own thing. He does too. And it's basically them on the run and doing exactly what he said at the end there. And that was to go and be out on their own and fight. There are people fighting the right cause. And we know that that's certainly what he's been doing and what he continues to do, even leading up to the events of Rebels,
Okay.
That's right. There was Neil Foddy says there was the callback to Fives. And Fives was the original clone who discovered that the chip was in. Nobody believed him at the time. They all thought he was a nut job. And speaking of which, I just watched that movie last night. This has nothing to do with Star Wars at all, but it just that particular nut job thing. The Infinite with the
Mark Wahlberg Infinite.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Was it good?
I wanted to see it so badly, Mike, because it's like I've been talking about on the Goofball show is like parallel universes and timelines and stuff like that. And I got Paramount Plus just to watch this movie. I think I'm going to cancel the free trial. I
had no idea about that film, and like I saw the trailer and I'm like, why didn't I hear about this? And then there's just Mark Wahlberg does such good stuff when he's like blue collar Joe Schmo. Like that film, him in that role with the sword, when I saw him, I was like, nope, this is totally miscast.
He's fine. I actually think I said to my wife, I thought Chris Evans would have actually been really good in that role, but he's not the problem for this movie.
He's not the problem. I mean, I like him as an actor, just in certain things.
He's not the problem in this movie. He's fine in the movie. I know we're not talking about
movie.
We can move this. It starts off like, okay, this is like a Matrix type thing, and then it just gets really stupid. And there's some pretty terrible acting in it. But anyway, that's a different show, different time.
All right.
Yeah. So getting back to the show itself, the Clone Wars, what they were able to do in this episode was from all the investment that you've had, seeing this lead up final. And I also like the fact they've been leading up to when's this chip thing going to happen? Are they going to pay it off? And they paid it off. They don't just wait until the end of the season until it happens. It's like, look, if this thing, and Rex even pulls his blaster on him and he's like, look, man,
that was cool. That's great. He's got his hand. He's like, okay, I know where this is going.
Yeah, but the one thing though that I did think to myself that he says, he pulls his blaster out and he says, "You guys are a threat to this girl. You're a threat to yourselves." And he's like, "I can't let," it's basically like, and he steps in front of her. He's like, I can't let you do it. And then he's like, "All right, I'll be in touch," and he leaves her with him anyway. Takes off, and then they meet him up on this Jedi cruiser thing. But going back to that, what if the trips all went off on the way there? And then he would feel miserable because he left Omega with them. But they get there, they go to the ship, they have this moment, and apparently it was the same species of creature, by the way, that was in the trash compactor, which is a great, even better throwback than it was.
Dianoga?
I mean, you know better than I do, champ. So, when they go to the machine, and they get it, and right before they do, the chip goes off, and Wrecker is just he's Terminator style. He's going after him, and I love that thing.
That was great.
Yeah, they get him out of the room, and it's ultimately Omega, because I did like how they established this bond that he and Omega have, right? Like it's and she really has bonded with him and I thought really liked the bit about whatever those treats were that she's like,
all right, go do it. You can do what you want. He's like, okay, good.
Yes, but but the bit where Rhea Perlman is telling him, she's going, hey, you owe me like whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, what for this?
Like,
what are you talking?
What?
And they cut. And that's all they do.
She's like, put it in our tab.
Yeah, it's great. It was great. I loved that. So anyway, it was a really good setup, and then finally they stun him, they get him in the thing, and you don't know. You figure he's going to snap out of it. It takes him a little longer to do it. He does. He apologizes to Omega. The other clones get it done, and now they've got to try. Now this is why I think that this place. There's no chance that Crosshair they're going to be able to get him in that machine. There's no way.
No, it's not happened. I'm surprised. That's just 2 episodes we haven't seen him. 2.
Yeah, true. But they're not. So there wasn't. So Andre Pierre, Fallen Order crossover yet? No, I haven't. And to be honest with you, I probably missed it. Was it at the very end? Is that what it is? Is the very end when they have? Is that what it is? Because I have to be honest with you too, Andre. I bailed on Fallen Order towards the not that it wasn't a good game. I just got completely frustrated with it. And the story itself was pretty good. But let me know what it was, because I'll be honest, I completely missed it.
I haven't played that game, so I'm missing something then too.
Yeah, I want to.
Do it have to do with the Dunkers that like saw them and they reported?
Maybe I'm sure Andre will let us know what it was. But yeah. So overall, like Mike said, I think this is a really good one. And then the planet. Okay, the planet is the planet from the start of Fallen Order. Okay. Got it.
Brekka, is it called? Brekka.
Okay, Brekka's in Fallen Order.
Okay. Yeah, it was a cool. It's so funny. Sometimes in Star Wars, they get, I don't want to say generic with the planets because there's so many of them now, but that was a cool, like, oh, we haven't seen something like this before. And the whole when they were walking up is like, make sure you stay above the water line. Like, that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool concept of that planet.
That's great. I mean, I'm glad that that's one of the things. So, and to be fair, I think that, I've been continuously critical on the fact that they don't, or not even critical, I think more observant, that they don't really pay as much attention to the books and the comics,
right? Yeah,
as far as canon go, where it negates what we wrote in the book. That's fine. We'll do that. But I think when I didn't include the games. I think that they also include the games inside of the TV. The TV crossover, the Clone Wars, the Rebels, Mandalorian, anything on TV and film, obviously that all finds, and they're not going to retcon anything, but I think the video games are included in that as well.
I would think so, because they're getting so good with those games.
Yeah, and apparently the ship wreckage was also the Easter egg, so that's part of it. That's great. See, but that's what I like when they do stuff like this, because when we get people like you guys telling us that, hey, this was a part of Fallen Order, Mike and I didn't lose anything from not realizing. Right. It was just like, it was that fun Easter egg, like you're mentioning. So
I think, I see someone in the chat saying the ship was a callback. I think, isn't that on the cover of the game where he's standing at the wreckage looking at it like the wreckage? I think that might be it.
You know what I want to do? I think that I have to spend some time, and it's going to take a few hours to do. And maybe we even do that for like fun watch along, Mike, for Sith, is that they have like all the story, like you can watch the entire story.
They do the cutscenes, they put them all together. Yeah.
You should watch it down, because I really enjoyed what I was doing when I was playing. I just got I hope in the second one that they make a thing for idiots like me, where if you start to like run around in a circle for too long, like what they do in what's this? Oh God, my head is so. What's Nathan Drake? What's
Uncharted?
Uncharted. Thank you. So in Uncharted, if you start moving around in a circle for too long, they go, check behind the library, stupid.
Hey, dummy. Yeah. Dummy.
Yeah.
Behind the wall.
Yeah.
And we're going to highlight it in yellow, dummy.
You're spending too much time walking around in the same spot, you dummy. It's in the park. Go to the park. Like that's what I need in this game for the next one. Like I'm not slick like you kids. I can't even remember the name of Uncharted. I'm gonna remember where the hidden lightsaber is on planet Zoom Zoom.
Planet Zoom Zoom.
All right, here's Dagan says, best episode so far, and I love the bond between Omega and Wrecker, but makes me think he'll meet a tragic end, maybe sacrificing himself to save Omega. It's certainly possible. This is similar to me what happened with Rogue One. Everybody can't live, especially when you see, especially when they're not around in a lot in Rebels. Like, where are they? They're not around. And if they were around,
and they're not around, eventually. So
in the movies, but definitely not in Rebels. I mean, they don't show Rebels, and it's like, and so they might all crap out because otherwise,
go down a blaze of glory.
Maybe so. I think that's So Matt Link says the same thing. There's a possibility they all go out because why wouldn't you call on those guys to help you out if they were still around? Because especially if they don't have the chip. Maybe I got them when they were all sleeping. Thank you, Crosshair. Appreciate that. So yeah, that's that to me is going to be something that I'm curious to see how it's gonna pan out, and it's gonna be it'll be tragic, I think, too. Absolutely. Okay, something I want to let you guys know before we move on, because we have there are a lot of stories that we're gonna talk about also. And for you all, if you've been listening to Sith, and if you're listening on audio and you're watching right now, you have heard me talk about BetterHelp. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you didn't know about it before, then you got to know about it now. Everybody wants to be happy. You need to be happy. And if something is preventing your happiness right now, you need to pay attention to it. Is there something that's preventing you guys from your goals at the moment? Are you sad? Are you looking at things when things are not going my way? BetterHelp is going to assess your needs, and it's going to match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling, and it's done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be local in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime, and you send a message to your counselor. You get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need to. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. You can visit their websites, and you can read their testimonials that are posted daily. Visit BetterHelp.com/Sith. BetterHelp.com/Sith. Better HELP, and join all of the people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. It's a very special offer for Sith Council listeners. You get 10% off for your first month at BetterHelp.com/Sith. All right, Mike.
Yes.
There are some other stories out there. And as we mentioned before on the, and I'm going to go to StarWarsNewsNet.com. It's my favorite Star Wars site. It should be your favorite Star Wars site if you're paying attention to Star Wars. They have a lot of great articles. They aggregate all the news that's going out there in the world of Star Wars, but they have their own stuff. They have the Resistance broadcast, which I really like. And you got James and Lacey and John doing their show. It's a great show. You should listen to that show. But they have some other stories, and let's get two of them. We got two stories here. Which one you want to do? Let's do this one you were talking about, Mike. Let's do the Liam Neeson one.
Yeah, go for it.
Because this is a funny story. It is definitely a funny story, I think. And here is hold on. It's Liam Neeson was interviewed recently about and someone anytime anybody in Star Wars is ever talking about anything, if they're going to buy milk at the store, people ask him about Star Wars. And it happened again here. You got Liam Neeson claims that he was not approached returning for Obi-Wan. And I say, push up. Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi show has been shooting for over a month already, and even though Disney has revealed the full cast for the series, there are many who are speculating that there will be some surprise appearances in it. We are specifically talking about Qui-Gon Jinn, a character that is all but confirmed to appear in the series. And even though everybody is expecting him, the actor continues to deny his involvement with the series. While promoting his new Netflix movie, The Ice Road, Neeson appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and as expected, Kimmel asked him about it. He said, "I heard Ewan McGregor was going to do a series." "No, I don't think so. No, I haven't been approached." Come on.
Come on now.
Here's they have like the audio. Can I play the audio? Well, I don't care anymore. Let me play the audio. Here's. Can you hear it, Michael? Let's see.
I can't. Well,
it hasn't played yet, but
like Star Wars
TV
show up your sleeve, because Obi-Wan Kenobi is in progress right now, and I'm wondering if you're going to be on that.
Yes, I heard Ewan McGregor was going to do a series. No, I don't.
You're full of it. Full of it. I don't buy that at all. That to me is no, it's so funny. Like Matt Smith did film something though. He wasn't in Star Wars, wasn't he? Wasn't he like one of the wasn't like a cut scene or something too? Wasn't he actually in it?
Matt Smith?
Yeah.
From Doctor Who?
Yeah, but either way, he didn't make the final cut. So
I think he wasn't he in Last Jedi? Or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker?
That's what I had said. He was supposed to.
I thought so, yeah.
That he wasn't in it too, and I said that if you are in it, then you're a liar. Then you're a liar. But he wasn't in it. So to me he's not. He still can Prince Charles his way around, and I'm all right with it. But as far as Liam Neeson goes, I don't know if it's the level of it. I think that they tell them like, hey, you saw what that Mark Hamill or the Luke Skywalker thing did. We're gonna stick with that. We want to make sure that we want to have that kind of level of it. So people ask you, just the guy's an actor. It's an actor.
It's a surprise. You can't get upset. Like he's
Mike, I'm going to tell you, like, I don't want people to know that you're going to be playing in the collision for the. I want it to be a surprise, or we're going to surprise you. So I'm interviewing. Hey, Mike, it's Chance is apparently going to be at Collision. They said he's driving in from Arizona. Are you gonna be playing for the team's title that night?
No, I got something going on that night. I can't make it.
Oh, all right. I guess I heard other things.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
It happens. And why would you? What? Because can you imagine if he's like, yeah, they reached out and we're talking about it. Everybody loses their mind. He can't do that. So there is no chance. There's no chance he's not in this. And if he's not, then they drop the ball. So it's either good. And by the way, I applaud that they're taking this strategy. I think that they should. It's not like one of these things where it's just like, come on, we know you're in it. I like that they're hiding. It's different because Matt Smith, if you look at that particular thing, if it turned out that he was with this big role, it's like, unless it was, oh, well, he's playing the Emperor and he's doing this, and he's cast. We know he's cast. This is different because I don't want to know if he's in it. I don't want to know. I want to watch, and then it's like, there he is.
Yeah.
That's how I want to feel. I don't want to know.
Agreed.
So I like this strategy. I hope he's lying. I hope he's lying. Thank you, everyone. Acting brilliant. Well done, Liam. So, yeah, man. It's this is something that I really hope. We've talked about this, Mike, a million times.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, come on now. It's just good. It's good. Storytelling's not the word. I don't know what to say.
It's good
what?
Suspense.
Yeah.
Keep him guessing. Keep him guessing. Is he going to be in it? Is he not? Don't confirm it. I don't want it to be confirmed unless it's one of these things where it's. I mean, not even unless if it's a big role, that would be great because they'd keep it that quiet. I mean, because I can't imagine it is. It's got to be a couple things. He probably came in for a day, shot a bunch of stuff, or what they probably did also was have Ewan act against someone else who was just reading Liam's lines, and then had him do it separately and put it in. I don't know. I think I just think it would be a big reveal, especially when you're in the middle of an episode and you want to get people talking. This is the water cooler stuff that they did with Mandalorian, and they could do water cooler stuff with Obi-Wan because people are going to be waiting for that first appearance from Hayden. There's no, I shouldn't say there's no chance that Hayden's going to show up in the first episode. He very well might, but it might be at the end, or they might start right in the beginning. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So Justin Kroll apparently said that Matt Smith was supposed to be one of the Knights of Ren, but they cut his role after a rewrite.
Wow. They cut the whole Knights of Ren, whatever they were.
Let's not talk about that. But yeah, so that to me it's a no-brainer. No-brainer. Qui-Gon is going to be back, and someone else that's going to be back. This is.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think it's not a done deal? So this way they can say, "Hey, you guys just assumed he was going to be in it, and we never said he was. So don't get pissed at us."
I think it's a done deal.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're already filming. If
I know that, but
I will say that to that point, that maybe you say like, look, we can't make this role that crucial because in case he doesn't do it. But
right.
why wouldn't you want to do it? He does everything.
I know.
He's done the same role for the last 10 years, like 20 different times in 20 different movies. Why wouldn't you want to do this?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I think hasn't he said how much he loves Star Wars? Like,
yeah,
I feel like I've heard him talk about that before.
And I think that, and they would never say this outright, but I think that when they initially came on to the prequels, because of the Star Wars and everything the way it was the lore from the original trilogy, they were so pumped. And because it was kind of this new revolutionary thing and acting against green screen, I think it was very tough for all of the actors, even somebody of the caliber of Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson. I think that they want to give it a shot with this new technology and do these different things and being able to. Jon Favreau is very much more so. I mean, Favreau is not doing Obi-Wan, but Favreau and Filoni and producing and Deborah Chow, they're very much more so actors, directors than George Lucas is. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get this. Can you do a monologue for a second? Because I got a big, massive wasp flying around. I gotta get it.
A monologue? What would you like me to talk about?
I don't know. You talk about.
Get your wasp there.
I want to get it out of here before I get stung in the head in the middle of this thing.
Well, give me a. Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody, by myself here. He's good old Christian's getting the wasp out there. Let's see what's going on in the chat there. Anyone saying anything exciting? No, I guess not.
Constant Pro. All right, so
look at that.
Yeah, it's good. I'm very proud of you. So I just needed to open up the screen. Let's get to this other thing. Here's can you see the Andor?
Yeah.
All right. So Andor was the other one. This one came out of like kind of left field, but happy that it did. And there's a big rumor that Ben Mendelsohn will be appearing as Orson Krennic. And we talked about that. Would he show up at this point? You know, and I don't think he needs to be a massive part of the story, but that he's one of the big bads at the time makes a lot of sense. And during this time, he's still trying to build up and find Urso. And so it makes sense that he'd be out there. So Star Wars Andor needs an antagonist. And if the rumors are true, you got to start somewhere. And that somewhere may just be with Ben Mendelsohn as his Rogue One character, director Orson Krennic. According to the sources tied to the direct, we will be seeing the return of Orson Krennic, who was the main villain of Rogue One at some point in the first season. The size of his role, they do more than one season for this show?
I haven't seen anything about it. I can't see them doing more than one season, but hey, who knows? I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again.
I don't know if we needed more than one, but I don't know. I haven't seen the first season. What the hell do I know? The size of his role remains unclear at this time, but it can be assumed that his presence will likely be felt throughout the series in order to give more weight to the end of that particular narrative. Krennic's role in Roll One is to oversee the development of the Death Star, which becomes fully operational pretty early into the film's narrative. Since this series is set before then, it can be presumed that Krennic's activities may be tied to other Imperial operations. This is great. But with Mendelsohn's involvement in Andor, it hits the airwaves very shortly after we got an unofficial confirmation that Forrest Whitaker will be back. I didn't know that. Did you hear that?
That I did. I'm reading those. The two things came up this morning. He was back and Krennic. But I was looking at like the timestamp, and it said it was like 17 hours ago. So it got announced.
Well, Star Wars News
later yesterday. Yeah,
Star Wars News. It does say to treat it as a rumor at the time being. There's been a little bit of info to support such an appearance. However, not that long ago, leaked set photos were out there. Officers wearing a uniform similar to the design that Krennic was wearing at the beginning.
Someone said at least 2 seasons. K2SO's in the second season.
All right. That's right. He's in the second season. I don't know how I feel about 2 seasons of this yet. I don't know. Maybe it's
it depends. I mean, is it 6 episodes? Then sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll also say this, that if it comes down to the fact that when we're watching this series that they set it up well and it's written well enough that I care, then I'll be a stupid ass.
Well, it's okay. So, but also now we got Krennic coming in.
Yeah.
Is it going to be focusing on the Death Star? Like,
no, that's what they're saying in this article, that he'll probably have other
okay,
other things.
other machinations going on with him and the Empire.
Yeah, and this, so
All right.
yeah, well, we just so Talking Wars also says that Forrest Whitaker is back. As saw in Andor. Oh yeah, Stellan said
Skarsgård.
okay, so he probably slipped, which is funny when he's been part of the Marvel machine, so you would think he'd be like, right, shh, don't say anybody's in anything. Shh.
Or he just doesn't care. He's like, I'm an old actor. I show up to work. I get to work with my friends.
Well, that was the same thing.
I didn't say that.
That was the same thing that happened with what's his face, Pedro Pascal and Ewan McGregor. They were talking recently.
Okay.
And this is another story that we have. Did you hear this story about they were talking about the filming of Mandalorian?
Which one? Which story?
So they had some kind of Skype call or whatever they were doing. The two of them. I don't know if they're
him and Ewan, right?
Yeah, the two of them.
Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah. And
they started talking about whether or not Mandalorian. Everybody assumed Mandalorian season 3 had started filming because they're like, okay, that's probably going to come out in like April.
Yeah. Because
it normally comes out it would probably come out the end of this year, but it's not. So then they were like, he's asking him, so when you start shooting? He's like, no, we haven't started shooting yet. And it's like, oh, because he's doing the Last of Us series.
Oh, that's right.
So that's pushing him back for sure. But there's other things they haven't started. So with everything that we know is coming out, this is how I think it's going to play out. I'd like to get the chat's opinion if they agree or disagree, and not even necessarily agree or disagree. Just put how you think it's going to come out in order. I think it's going to be Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Andor, and then Mandalorian will debut next year around like October, November.
So you think we're a year and a half away from season 2 or season 3 of Mando? Okay, yeah, I could agree with that, because
they aren't as pressured now with other series coming out. If they,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If it was the only game in town, then it was like, we got to get it out. We got to get it out because we have nothing else coming out. Now it's like, what are they complaining about? We just gave them Boba Fett, which is going to tie into Mandalorian. We just gave them Obi-Wan. They're still talking about Obi-Wan, and we just gave them Andor, and they're still bitching about. I mean, people will still bitch about it, but less so, I think.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka's not out next year though. Manny Gonzalez was asking about
that.
I
think that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, that's not until like either 2023, 2024. But next, what we know next year, those are the ones that are confirmed to come out next year.
Right.
So that's the order I think is gonna come out. And then I guess they talked about on SEN Live yesterday. They talked about that exact order. So that's exactly how I think it's gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I think that I think that more people will be excited about, because as I said, Mandalorian is not carrying the weight of being the only game in town now. It has set it up. It is it's the king of the walk right now. And you can say, hey, look, I set it up for you guys. You guys go. And because Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan, you're going to be, and what's that? Obi-Wan's like 6 episodes or something, or 5?
I think 6.
It's 5 or 6. And those short episodes, like, they work for me. Like, I just watched Mayor of Easttown, right? That was 7 episodes. They didn't overdo it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like a short episode, but I like at least to be an hour long.
Well, you look at Loki, right? Loki so far, both episodes were an hour or just a little less. So when it's 6 episodes, and they have, because Mandalorian's a little different, right? Mandalorian, I think I still always wish that the episodes are a little longer, but sometimes you get 35-minute ones, 40. But
yeah, those work for me though.
There's no end in sight for that show just yet. We know we're getting season 3 or 4. Obi-Wan's one and done. So we're getting a 5 or 6 hour movie, basically. And if that is the case, then I think sometimes you'll get episodes that are 45 minutes. Sometimes you'll get an hour. I agree with you for this. I hope we don't get like 35-minute episodes of Obi-Wan. I mean, we do. But I would prefer longer episodes for that show.
It is what it is if they do.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I think Mando is kind of finding its way. and like tell them like, hey, we don't need the story to be any longer than it needs to be to tell what we're trying to tell.
Right.
But now they seem to kind of like season 2 kind of fit into a little more structure than 1 did. 1 was all over the place.
Yeah. So
Like, oh, we're gonna be 27 minutes this one. Okay.
Well, Talking War says Kenobi is 1 hour per episode. How do you know? I didn't see any announcement on that.
Are you assuming?
Assuming or
Don't assume it.
saw something, which very well could be. But
Yeah, could be.
so Zeno Hour says I have a theory that could be wrong. Or that will be wrong. That's I appreciate the honesty. After watching the first episode of Loki, Feige, Michael Walsh, and Star Wars movie will be based on the world between worlds. The thing is, I always say, well, if someone just did that, why do they want to do that again in a different genre? You know?
Yeah.
So
especially, yeah, they kind of they don't tread the same thing. They chart new paths. So
I mean, people are there are some people who are like hoping that they do. Are you familiar with the world between worlds at all, Mike?
I am not, and I am. No, I'm not. It's a concept.
It's a Rebels thing, right? So it was the first time that they really kind of dabbled in how like time manipulation and everything, which is very interesting when it comes to Star Wars.
Star Wars is like they don't do time stuff with Star Wars,
which is when you think about it is nuts because. And people are like, well, I'm glad that they don't mess with it, and I get that, and I also understand it, and I think I'm on the same fight for that. But time works differently in space, like parallel universes and other and just the manipulation of time and the way. Like I thought when like in Interstellar, how time moves faster on planets and things of that nature. Like
that was cool.
So when you introduce the concept of time and space and in Star Wars, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like when you're able to do it successfully in like the MCU and the multiverse and all that kind of stuff, that's on Earth. It's like that to me always seemed like the bigger challenge, and they don't do it in Star Wars. But that's why people were hoping and crossing their fingers, and they were like, well, maybe some people, not all people.
Yeah, but then then you're getting into like, well, why doesn't he go? Then the fan runs rampant. The fan speculation, like, well, why doesn't he visit so and so in this period? And like,
well, that's what they were. That people are hoping that Filoni and the TV crew are working in like a alternate timeline that doesn't connect to the sequel.
Okay, because I said like, what's the stuff? He was like, why doesn't he just go back and kill Luke Skywalker as a baby? They know where they are on Tatooine.
Yeah, but
we have all these worlds of like, holy crap.
True. But I don't think they're going to do that kind of time travel as much as it's like just like a decision was made and they go into a different. And I don't think it's going to happen. By the way, I don't. The same way that they're not ever going to negate stuff that George Lucas did in his movies or anything that he did. They're not going to do anything to negate their. I hate to tell people this, but they're not going to erase and say, well, no, this doesn't tie into there because we. Maybe you'll never hear him say it, but maybe, and I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but maybe Filoni hates the direction of what happened to Luke in Episode 8, right? Maybe he hates it. But the day of him going, well, we have the Luke that we put in our show. He does different things, and inside of that timeline, it doesn't loop up to Episode 8. That ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. As much as a lot of people would like it to, myself included, it's just not gonna happen. But because there's so many years in between, and I saw this, I think it was on the last. There's a fan group that was formerly the Star Wars group that was formerly the Jedi Council page that I'm still a part of, and they're great group over there, by the way. Let me give you the full name of it. But I saw a post over there. What was it? Shoot, I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about. All right, just lost my train of thought. What I wanted something that
time travel, Star Wars, Luke Skywalker,
saga. Luke.
There you go.
There was something along the lines of Luke being in the show a lot, right? And being in the show and being and where I was telling you, I don't want him in the show as a character.
Luke.
Yeah, I don't want him in it.
No, I get, yeah.
I liked how I think that the way he showed up, that's why I always push back against people like, this is not a Star Wars, this is not a Skywalker thing. It didn't make it a Skywalker thing. He was a character in the show. Hold on a second. Guys, I don't believe it. Christian Bale is in Darwin, Northern Territory, Australia, which is my hometown. I wonder what you're doing here.
He's doing Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yes. Yes.
He's what's he? Agnar, the God Killer.
Yeah.
Dagnog.
Yep.
Nagadagada, the God Killer.
Thor. Yep. So, yeah, I still to this I pushed back on. I remember going back and forth.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I remember going back and forth with Jay Washington via text, and we were talking about it, and I was kind of breaking it down, and because he was like, I don't need Luke to show up in this show, and I'm like, dude, but think about it, he's a character thing. And then he and I went back after. He's like, no, I agree with you. I see where what you were talking about there, and I just don't want it to be a Luke Skywalker story. I said I agree with that, and that's the same thing that they posted in the Star Wars group. It's like someone's like, oh, was Luke going to come back and start doing this? I was like, if he shows up again, that's great, but he doesn't need to be a main character, right?
No.
So yeah, and it's the same thing that we can find out in that series, and that eventually, I mean, that's what 20-30 years before the events of episode 7. So I don't know what the hell's going on with him. I still would love to see that Sebastian Stan Luke Skywalker series. I would love to see it, like a 6.
You would, huh?
Yeah, 6 episode. Okay. Not 3 seasons, 4 seasons. Just same thing like Obi-Wan. 6 episodes, mini series. I'm going to keep referencing Mayor of Easttown, like this little mini series, 6-7 episodes. Just it's basically a big movie that you watch and then you're out.
Okay,
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Anyway, so this was a fun show today. I think we're going to call a little early. Make sure you head on over to SEN Live. They're going to be on at 10. They're going to be doing they just to give everybody an idea of the plan again. Please, this show, as you've been noticing, as much as I'd love to like Streamlabs and super chats and all of it, it's super helpful, but I also don't want to have to tell everybody all the time. If you want to do it, you want to do it. If you don't, you don't. But what I would say, if you want to support the show and the shows in general, please go to the Sith Council podcast feed, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the new YouTube channel, because if you're a fan of this show might be moving even before August 2nd. I have to make some decisions about that, but it will be found on that show. So please make sure that you do that and go subscribe over there today. Right now it's called the SEN Network channel. It could change. We're working on it, but a lot of great changes, a lot of exciting changes coming down the pike here. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. For Mike Kalinowski and myself, see you next time.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.